Okay, it's your friendly machine shop instructor, Ed here, aka the CNC Dude, and I'm going to talk about manual G-code programming. We have a project here. We're going to program this by hand. I actually made a longer video with how I did this, but it was a little lengthy. So first thing we did is decided what tools we're going to use, and we had a pre-done sheet here. We had to fill in the blanks, but up here we have program number, name of program. I would suggest you put your initials like here, because we're probably all going to be doing the same program. So EFD are my initials. I like to use caps. And then maybe a date, but that's okay. Here's the stock size. We've already laid out the stock size based on the material, and this is our tool list and some setup information. I like doing this in all of my programs coming out of CAD, CAM, or manual. It's enough information to set it up, and then your program. So over here we're looking at the project right here. And 0, 0 is up here, so we're going to face mill the top. I'm going to take the 1/2 end mill, go around and cut that square-ish, rectangle I guess actually. And I'm going to cut this island. We're going to use one tool to do this, and hopefully we might have to actually edit to get some of these corners. Then we're going to take a smaller 1/4 inch tool on our tool sheet, and I'm going to go ramp mill this slot, zigzagging our way down, and we're going to spot drill and drill these 5/16 or 3/13 holes. And then we will do an operation tool where we flip it over and mill the back off, because we're using 1 inch thick material, so we can hold it by approximately 200 thousandths. That's what we have our soft jaws set up for, 200 thousandths. So that's enough room to machine this without hitting the soft jaw. Setup sheet. This is something we used to use in some other shops. You should put all your tools here, program who you are, what date. So if somebody said, oh, I want you to go get some tools and set them up, you'll have them here, which, tool number, H number, just in case you're not using the same, but you really should. And what RPM and feed rates that you're going to use. And setup information. So this will be verbal and program number. The best way to do it is actually have something like this and showing where your 0 is. But this is pretty clear. All right. Another little handout book that you might get from your dealers is this Haas Shop Notes book. It's a little handheld book, but we use this for a lot of calculations. I like this one here, which does feed and speed calculations. And what else do we have? This one here is very good for doing 90. If you're doing a 90-degree spotting drill, how big a diameter you're going to get. And also, I used to have this in my toolbox on center drills. And we actually had a quickie calculator to figure out how deep to go to get into this 60-degree chamfer. So these are your two primary prepping for hole tools. A 90-degree tool or a center drill. Then you have your other drills. The common ones are 118s or 135s. 120s are pretty much used in the helicoil area. That's a helicoil spec. And 82 degrees are for your flathead screws. But there's a quick way to calculate in depth. And there's some other quickie stuff in this book. So this should be in your toolbox, one of these. Then we also have the Haas Milling Workbook. This is the older one. We pre-print one and everybody gets one. We work out of this book. This is like a must-have, I believe. You can, let me get a few pages along here. It tells you much everything you need to know about G-code. Fanuc style G-code, not just Haas only, and you can do some lessons out of here like this. This is the thing we do first week in class, positional exercise. And you just read through this and get a little knowledge. What do we mean by a height offset? just like a whole list of codes here. You don't have to memorize these things. You'll just remember them. What a machine default is. This is really essential book. You should at least download the PDF, and I believe it's on the that Haas CNC website. And this is a typical program with descriptions of what each one does. So you want to know the basics of G code. So if you're hand programming, editing, CAD/CAM work, you understand what's going on. Okay, so we got our part, we got our setup sheet, we got some reference material to write some code, and then we gave everybody a partially done program with missing pieces. And eventually you're going to program the whole thing, you know, so. And so we did that, and I kind of went through the process, but it was a little lengthy, so I actually programmed it already. And then we said, how can we test this out, especially at home? And we went over here. This is called the NC Viewer. This is online, and hey, look at that. Let's look at the print, right? Here's the print, and here's the NC Viewer. And we uploaded the code through an open file, or you can create it right here. I would use Notepad at home, and you want to put a % sign at the top and a % sign at the bottom. That's how the machine understands communication. Letter O, 4 or 5 digits. I'm from the old days of 4 digits, but now we're in 5 digits. It's considered to be a FANUC standard. Anything in parentheses are just comments. Will not do anything for the machine. But then we have the rest of the code. So we can get into what it all means. But you write a program, and if we had the Haas tabletop simulator, we would run it in there, and we would get something similar to this, right? So if I were to run, I have the digital readout on, and if I just press play, it kind of runs kind of fast. But you can also put this in isometric mode. All right, which I wish a Haas had this, but rerun this again. Okay, we're at the end. It didn't automatically rewind. M30 is supposed to be the rewind code. I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit play again. Okay, remember the tools are not described correctly. This one's a big honking 3-inch face mill, goes across the whole top of this. Then we're going to, let's do top view, and I have to turn this. Every time I do this, I can't get it in the right direction. Right there, okay. So our X0, Y0 is right up here, and we're starting from this position. So this would be dropping the big half-inch tool down. I'm going to travel to Y0. This would be our X0, Y0 right there. And it's going to travel in this direction and cut this rectangle and travel off the part and end up back here again. So you got to have cut a comp turned on, and then you're staying to the left of this line by whatever value you put in the D column, and then this will be cut a compensation off. Pretty simple move. So we're doing the same thing here. We're going here and going around here. We're going to do line, arc, line, line, arc in the other direction, line, bigger arc, and go past the finish line and turn the compensation off. Then this is going to be a zigzag move. You'd probably see it better from this position. I'm just going to go back and forth, and I'm doing it at 50 thousandths incremental depths. And we get down the bottom, so this will go back and forth and create the slot. And then back to top view, and we have 3 holes. Spot drill the 3 holes, and then G81 code or G82 will work. And a G83 pecking cycle, so when we get over here, we have through holes. All right. So you can start doing programs like this, anything you can think of. If you got some sample programs or your teacher's giving you some, we have some other ones if you're immersed to learn person. Let's see here, Mill, right here. Immersed to Learn has a packages. I think they have 20 programs built in, and these are like This is pretty simple square, and this has got a lot of pre-done stuff. And eventually you'll go through all of these, and as you go along, you have to fill out more and more information. And you do these 5. What I do with these is I do not look at the code, I look at this running in the machine, and then I'll point out any errors that are made. A common error is feed rate, and you will not see this in this demonstration. F25 and F25 with a decimal point is 2 different things. So this will be, somebody gives you a programming package. I think Cam Instructor has some also. There's a lot of good material out there. I actually got a couple of my own I can throw out there if you just want to do some programming. We do some also on a machine called a track mill, which is a conversational programming system. So that's pretty much it. And I'm going to put up my, where the heck did I do with my logo here? Desktop, where am I here? Downloads. Nope, I don't have it. I think it's in the folder here. Yeah. There's no place like G28, G91, Z0. Okay. That's the older way of getting home. And the newer way is now G53Z0. So we're going to have to make an updated version of that picture. Okay. Thanks again. And remember, there's no place like staying home or G28, G91, Z0. Wink, wink. Talk to you later.